have spoken so eloquently in support of this great motion. But believe me, Mr. President, there's a correlationship between poverty and crime. And wherever you see high level of crime, look beneath, there's a high level of poverty. And you agree with me that since the inception of this Senate, what has taken the center stage of most of the motions is the motions on insecurity, killings, crisis, bloodletting, which also addresses the fact that it's not well with our people, especially the downtrodden in society. Mr. President, recall that before the coming in of crude oil, agriculture guaranteed us over 75% of our foreign exchange and over 75% of employment. But since the coming of crude oil, the agriculture sector has been neglected. But what is of more concern is right now, as we stand, I had, in the past, if you recall, advocated that the issue of security should be discussed by this Senate. And in between that is the issue of employment, engaging our youth, the economy. But as it is with what the Senator have just said, I think it's something that we must give its adequate place right now and urgently too, to ensure the agricultural sector, especially the palm oil, is developed as an industry. I've had the federal government make pronouncement that in the next 10 years, 100 million Nigerians will be given a sense of livelihood. There's no better way to do it than issues like the palm industry. As a government, I introduced under my rescue mission administration what I call plant a palm policy, a konanko in Igbo language. And in my research, in our research then, we found out that a seed of palm seedling can produce up to 18 bunches. So for what you buy literally for just 20 naira or 50 naira could guarantee you about 5,000 in your pocket just after a period of 2.5 years with the modern seedling program. Many have mentioned about Malaysia. The Malaysian people actually came to Imo State to take the first palm seedling. And that time they bought it for 10 naira. That is why the most popular palm seedling in Malaysia today is called 10 ala. 10 ala means 10 naira. And they have now grown their economy using palm. What that means, Mr. President, is if Nigeria can come up with a national policy, and even with the practices in our schools, secondary schools and primary schools, that every child should plant a palm seedling for where it does well, like in the southern part of the country, you could imagine the kind of bumper harvest we are going to have, and the kind of foreign reserve and exchange we can make out of palm. And one thing to address this issue of poverty, most Nigerians have not asked, why don't we have kobo in circulation? Why don't we have 1 naira in circulation? The smallest note you can see today is 100 naira. And 100 naira is fast disappearing. 500 naira and 1,000 naira. You don't know see kobo as a medium of exchange. This is because agricultural sector like the palm has been neglected. So if kobo must return, and if the ordinary masses must have access to a better life, then this particular sector should be given its rightful place. So I commend the mover of this and ask that this Senate do support this motion to ensure not just the palm, but every of the agricultural sector is given its due place. I think with this issue of insecurity, this issue of poverty and hunger, will be brought to a minimum reduction. God bless you.
Senator Ebekule Amosu.